War Eagle Auburn family, and welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we sit down, we get together, and we talk about what's going on in the world of the Auburn family spectrum. We're always heavy on the sports here on this channel, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We appreciate you spending just even a few minutes of your very special, hard-earned time with us here on this channel. On this live stream, it's another post-game reaction show where we're breaking down the Auburn Tigers' first SEC loss. Let me say that again, loss. Took this long for it to happen, and it finally happened to the Arkansas Razorbacks by the score of 80-76 on the road in Bud Walton Arena. We're going to break down the stats, the reactions, thought processes of this game, and we're going to talk a lot about what you want to talk about, your reactions, your comments here on this stream tonight. But before we do that, before we get started with all of that, please do me a couple favors here. If you do enjoy this type of content, please help it by smashing that like button here on YouTube, retweet, like buttons on other social medias if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And right now in the comments, please post where you're watching from, city, state, international. Let's do our normal check-in process. Let me know who is here from the Auburn family and where you're watching from. With all that being said, let me start off by telling you a somewhat controversial thing. I enjoyed the heck out of watching them storm the court. Is that odd to say? Is that strange? Does that feel sacrilegious? Does that feel wrong? I enjoyed the heck out of it. You know why? Because for the very first time, someone's storming the court for someone other than Kentucky. And it feels real good. It feels real good to have someone be so happy that they took you down that they would storm the court over you. And not because it's some silly rivalry or something like that. It would make sense if Alabama or Georgia would do something like that. But Arkansas, on their home court, decided you're worthy of us storming the court. Feels good, doesn't it? I'm actually, am I happy about the loss? No. But I am happy about what this means to where our program has risen to. Absolutely. So I know that feels like I'm trying to, coat everything with puppy dog kisses and stuff like that. There are some ugly things about this game that we need to break down about the game, things that Auburn didn't do well. But we also want to give credit to the Arkansas Razorbacks. Hard-fought win for them. They showed out. Great atmosphere. Great win. Controversial things here and there to discuss. But, hey, look, it went both ways. And we can discuss every angle of that. All right, I know you guys have already been in the chat early and often. I've already probably had to bypass a lot of y'all's comments and questions, so we're going to try our best to keep up with that with a humongous crowd already here to get the night started off. A lot of people already checking in from across Alabama, of course. Cool Luke's here. Good to see you. Let's see here. Yahari says, to your credit, you predicted this 2 weeks ago, 50% free throw shooting. Ouch, regardless. Don't get me started. If you want me to tell you what won the game tonight, you don't even have to ask. Free throws, free throws, free throws, free throws. Auburn makes its free throws, it wins the game. Hands down. No question, no debate. Not even worth discussing with any Arkansas fans that can't see that. But that is what happened. Free throws is what won and lost this game. Now, we can discuss officiating. We can discuss turnovers. We can discuss other angles of the game. But when you cut down to what wins and loses, wins and losses in a basketball game, it is rebounds, turnovers, and free throws. We dominated in rebounds. I haven't looked so far yet into the stats to see where we went with turnovers. We had far more than them. And then I can't even look at that free throw percentage. But that is what won the game tonight for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Quentin says this loss hurt, but War Eagle. Absolutely. Well, all losses hurt at this point for Auburn because we have experienced far least than anybody else other than Gonzaga out there. So, yes, we've experienced the bitter taste of defeat twice this season now. And someone pointed it out, and I forgive me for not finding you in this plethora of comments we've already got, coming in here. But someone pointed out we have yet to lose in regulation. If you want to feel good about tonight, there's another reason to feel good about it as well. Any of you notice how Arkansas got possession of 2 jump balls in a row? I won't dispute that so much, Savage, but I highly doubt that. There probably was something that you missed in between all of that. I could be wrong though. They did miss a really obvious travel call, a double dribble call by what should have been called on Alan Flanagan. They eventually got him, but on a different sequence in that play. But hey, it is what it is. Rob says this is what we need a process to win in the end. War Eagle. I've gone back and forth on this. By the way, we are already at 100 live streamers. Thank y'all so much. And I know this is on Facebook. It's across all of the platforms, but keep hitting that like button. We'll get up to 100 officially on YouTube. You guys, great crowd already. I have waffled back and forth on whether or not I want to subscribe to the whole it's good for us to take a loss thing. I've talked about this a little bit on previous live streams where that might be a good thing, but I kind of started leaning more towards it wouldn't be a good thing for us. It's not necessarily that it would be a good thing for us. I think it would be great to go completely undefeated, even though that still continues to build that pressure with never having a release of it. But I also see the other side of this. And so your point you're making is this may be the thing that kind of releases a little bit of that pressure. I would suspect you will not see Auburn at number 1 at the turn of the next week, but enjoy being number 1 versus Texas A&M for the rest of this week. And we'll see what happens after that point. Wow, already at 100 on YouTube too. Thank you guys so much. You are incredible audience tonight. This is absolutely in a loss, mind you. Now we may have a bunch of, other fans in here that are getting our numbers up a little bit because I'm sure they are eager to share their thoughts on this game after they haven't been able to say much about the Auburn Tigers this season. I am actually excited to see if anybody's got a meme game out there in social media for other fan bases against us. I'm debating this, and some of y'all may hate this. I'm debating making a best of memes video for the loss that are against us. I'm thinking about it, just being a good sport about it, having some fun, because that's what I think we should do at this point. Blake, you know me well enough, man. Free throws. Glad the air is out of the balloon. War Eagle, sometimes you got to beat the rest too. Yes, I will say this, and I want to say it from both angles of this tonight. Arkansas and Auburn both had terrible calls on them tonight. The game was way too affected by the refs. Now, you shouldn't be surprised by this if Teddy Valentine, being a very famous ref in SEC basketball, is involved. They call him TV Teddy for a reason. He likes to make calls to get himself on TV. History just kind of proves itself. Either way, a very ticky-tack type of night for both sides of the equation, and I think Arkansas and Auburn fans will both agree on that thing tonight, that nobody really is very happy with the refs after that. Let's see. Even when we're number 1, I can't watch games or we lose. Lesson learned. David, don't say that. You got to watch this team while you can. Man. I think, is this Rob Craig? Is that a Arkansas fan? I'm trying to catch up in some of. There we go. We got a couple of them popping in here right now. Typical Bammers. Hey, buddy, why don't you go check the scoreboard real quick on this season? Or is your answer going to be football? That's probably what your answer is going to be. Let's see. Let's not let Greens play up till like 8 minutes in the game. I'm not understanding that one. Trying to move forward in some of the things here. Alabama fans still don't remember the game. 100-81. Oh, you knew it was going to happen. Walker, Arkansas was 16 of 17 for free throws. Absolutely. And this is what won them the game. And not just because at the, if you take away, let's say they missed 3-4 of those, then obviously that's a tie game, but those happen at different points of the game. Can't really think that, but you get the point, right? If Auburn knocks down a few free throws in some key moments, they maybe don't even have to go to overtime. Key moment in overtime, Katie missing that layup leading to Kessler fouling out. Should have been 2 points and keep Kessler. That did feel like the breaking point. And then Jabari Smith. Can we just give some credit to the man that is Jabari Smith tonight? I mean, absolutely outstanding play from him in terms of putting the team on his back and saying, you know what? We're not giving up. I'm going to give us every opportunity to win this game. And boy, did he. Absolutely outstanding. Dusty, yes, I would, be fine with the Arkansas fans coming in here and having a little bit of fun. Here, we got one right here. We Pig Suey. Can we just also address this? That is the stupidest battle cry in the world. We Pig Suey or Woo Pig Suey Razorbacks. Here they are in full force. I had a feeling this is why our numbers would jump up tonight. But hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Wit, why did Green take a 75-foot three-pointer at the end of regulation? Terrible shot selection on the final shot. I don't think it's a terrible shot. I would have preferred maybe that he would have driven in and tried to draw a foul. That would have been preferred, in my opinion. But Wendell Green has proven time and time again that he can make that shot. And there's nobody else on that team that I would give that freedom to. So, yes, could he have done something different? Absolutely. But if he makes that, we're all praising him, right? We absolutely are. Let's see here. Jabari made the right read on the Cambridge 3 in the corner, but he also had a nice look. Jabari into the game needs to be all game, and Bruce needs to call screen back to Jabari, wing 3 a lot more. Yeah, if Devin's going to make threes, that seems to be his shot. So I don't mind him dishing that out there. There's this notion that we need to get the ball to Jabari more. We need to get the ball to Jabari more. And yes, I would agree with that in the last game. But I think that there was a clear focus tonight to give him those opportunities. The problem is that he's got to make them. Now, boy, did he at the end of the game. But last game, too, he hasn't always made them. So you've got to have other people start knocking down shots tonight. Can we give a hand, just first of all, to Walker Kessler tonight? Player of the game. Can we all agree with that? Player of the game tonight? I don't even think I need to ask the question. Let's look at his stat line. 16 points tonight. His one bad spot. 2 of 5 from free throw. Excuse me, 2 of 6 from free throws. But he's 2 of 5 from three-point land. And at key moments, knocks down the shot. Proving that, yet again, you don't need to give him a clean look. 19 rebounds, and I think it was 7 blocks. If I can get over here to the stats and look at it. 7 blocks tonight for Walker Kessler. And he's the only one that fouls out. But everybody's in foul trouble, basically. All the starters were absolutely intense. Ron, great game by you guys. Obviously, you're a very good team, and we will be rooting for the Arkansas Razorbacks the rest of the season until we likely see you in the SEC tournament. The more you succeed, the more we succeed at this point. But we're happy that we could give you a little bit of joy tonight by storming the court. Let's see here. Keep moving forward here. Kevin, yes, better to lose on the road. I would agree with that 100% tonight. If you're going to take a loss, you want to take it to probably an Arkansas, a Florida, a Tennessee. And so that's a great one to take, and especially on the road. There's a little bit of leniency there given when you're on the road, unless you lose to a team you're not supposed to. This was a team that everybody expected Auburn to have a great game from. And boy, did they get an absolutely great game. Note is a great player. Jalen Williams, which got really confusing tonight with our Jalen Williams. It's not only that they have the same name, it's spelled the exact same way, if I'm not mistaken. And every time they would say, foul on Jalen Williams, like, he's on the bench. Or our Jalen Williams, when they'd say, shot by Jalen Williams, he's like, he's on the bench. It got confusing at times. Again, I don't mind the Arkansas fans coming in here and having a blast because it just gets my numbers up. Thank y'all. But you Alabama fans, man, y'all, it's not going well for y'all. It's not going well for y'all if this is what y'all have to do, get a little joy out of basketball season. Let's see here. At least some can take a loss. Well, I hope that we are taking a loss. Well, I'm having fun with it at this point. Congrats to Arky. Think we'll be back at number 1 again. And obviously, you would probably need a Gonzaga loss at this point in Auburn to win out. But I don't. It's not that I didn't subscribe to the idea of us taking a loss would be better for us. But I would much rather of us have stayed undefeated, but lost that number 1 ranking somehow. sports reporters being sports reporters, and taking that away from us just so that the pressure wasn't there anymore of being number one. It was fun. We had it for quite a long time, longer than I think a lot of us thought we'd have, but we'll see. Walker says, I'd rather be number one in April. Absolutely. That goes without saying. Pat, I'm going to disagree with you. They did not get lucky. And I want to be, clear when I say that. Arkansas did not get lucky. They did what they needed to do tonight to win the game. Auburn actually shoots better on the night overall in terms of field goal percentage, a little bit less 3-point wise, way less free throws. That's the story of the game. Free throw percentage, 47. Oh, I can't even say it. 47%. That's it. That's the story. That's the tweet, as they say. Total rebounds tonight. Auburn dominates 60-42. Second champ points. They eclipse Arkansas, but still, even that wasn't enough. Bench was relatively the same. Points in the paint, we won. Fast break. There is ever a question of, and we said this last live stream, of how important Zep Jasper is to this team. You need to look no further than the last two games. You can trash talk all you want because they're trash talking right now too. But but I'm going to give them credit where credit is due. Habersham Jim, missed calls, missed layups, bad turnovers, and missed free throws. I will say that there are some very interesting calls that went against Auburn at very opportune times, but also for Arkansas. You'd hate to see that on the road. It's easier to overcome when you're at home, but yeah, it went both ways now. Don't bother with the memes, Kyle. She says. There's almost a certain part of me, Linda, that's a glutton for punishment just to have fun with it. See, look, here's the thing. And I know you're probably having fun with this too, but I dish it out because I can take it. And personally, I'm thrilled that they're so thrilled that they beat us, that they stormed the court. I don't want us to get to the level of the whole Kentucky. They're just here to see Kentucky. No, they were here because they're a good team and had a chance to knock off the number one team for the first time in Bud Walton Arena. That's why they were there. And didn't hurt that the number one player was there too. And everybody wants to knock us off right now. Let's see here. Let me back down just a little bit. I agree. We've kind of already touched on that, Kevin, about them storming the court. It was a surreal feeling. It was a very good feeling as well. Absolutely, it was. James says 9 in a row. Teach y'all spelling there at Arkansas. Ain't luck, bro. We just step up for big games. I don't disagree with that. Arkansas is a great program, and I think they're going to be one of the best ones down the stretch in the SEC. Still not the best. You beat us on your floor. Come to Auburn Arena. We'll see how much different it goes. It's a shame we can't do it this year. Let's see. The boys are now angry. Stand by. Absolutely, they are. Great crowd in Arkansas tonight. I believe in the long run, a loss in that environment will strengthen the mindset of the team. Well, here's the good thing too, and think about it this way: is we knew the team was going to struggle again without Zep Jasper in the role, but they didn't fall apart. In fact, they responded to the adversity and the, frankly, at times ineptitude they showed without him early in the game, and were able to do this against a very good team. If this happens, and it did happen against Georgia down there, we all saw that game, but this is a much different story. They went on the road into a hostile environment, a truly good team. Sorry, Georgia's just not that good of a team, but Arkansas is, without their starting point guard, and still it took them overtime to do it. That's how well-rounded this team is, and even though it kind of affects us a little bit, you still get better. This is great for SEC basketball. Absolutely it is. Auburn, Arkansas, and Kentucky are clearly the best in the SEC. I'd still say it's probably Auburn, Kentucky, Arkansas, and that's just because right now Auburn and Kentucky are ahead of each other. But let's see what happens the rest of the season. Auburn takes a few more losses. Kentucky does. We might be talking about Arkansas at the end of the year as the best overall team. It wouldn't shock me. It's happened before. Ben, I'm going to disagree with you, buddy. And not because I'm just trying to, specifically play the other side, but just because it's true. They didn't blow the game for us. The free throws did. Never put yourself in a position for the refs to affect the outcome of the game. Auburn did that tonight. I don't know what Coach Pearl's thoughts are at the end of the game, but I would imagine he somewhat agrees with me. Whatever I think, for the first time in a long time, the announcers and referees were impartial. I will agree with you on the announcers on the TV. Obviously you want to embrace the environment that you're in, and especially the great crowd and atmosphere that Arkansas had tonight. But they were really skewed against Auburn tonight in their announcing, and it really showed at times. I think his name is Dane. Ignorant comments tonight, just ignorant comments tonight. Or I forget it. I can't remember what his name was. Braxton, from an Arkansas fan, was really glad Jabari didn't have that last shot. No idea why he didn't get more touches. Let's see. Let's come over here and look at his stat line tonight. 20 points for Jabari Smith. He gets 16 shots off tonight. 3 of those were three-pointers, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. 9 rebounds, almost a double-double for him. He did have 2 turnovers. Frankly, I think he had plenty of touches tonight. If you're a team that falls apart without your best player, then you weren't really that good a team. Auburn's been successful when Jabari's had extremely bad nights already, so we know that they don't fall apart without him. So I think he got about the amount of touches that I would like. He definitely got more. There was more of a focus to give it to him in this game. Let's see. How satisfyingly disrespectful was that dunk at the end after Auburn danced on the logo before the game? Touche. Now, I will counter you, Dylan. I'm guessing you're an Arkansas fan. It's hard to say there was a concerted effort to do that when there's such a small court to operate on in pregame when you're, gathering up and things like that. On a football field, it's pretty obvious because there's so much more space. Did it happen there purposely? It might have. But if that's what you're taking pride in, it's not a good look. It's a weird flex. Great way to end the game, though. Bama might end up being okay in the NIT. I haven't seen too many of them after that initial, they all got beat and got run out of here. Hero, Arkansas gets robbed in every football game. I don't know what to do with that. I don't even know what to do with that. All right, let's look here. Let me scoot down, keep scooting through some of the comments. Again, I'm sorry that we're not going to get to everybody's tonight. Huge crowd tonight. We're at 300 watching live currently on YouTube. I know it's kind of fluctuating up and down. A lot of you are Arkansas fans who continue to write WPS. Keep it going, guys. Let's see. What was that sound whenever the Razorbacks made a point? I kept hearing a sound sometimes when they made a free throw. It was I think it was the Super Mario, like, ding, ding, or whatever that is. Everybody does little fun things. We do the AU. Of course, we didn't get to do that very often tonight because we couldn't make free throws. Plainsman Murph, yes, definitely takes the pressure off before the tourney, but you hope it didn't take the pressure off too much. It can work the opposite way, which is why I didn't really wholesale subscribe to, we need to lose one before the game. You saw a lot of national writers saying that. And while there is a certain degree of truth to that, I thought it was a very easy take to have personally for them, experts on college basketball. I'm not going to touch that comment by Neil. Let's see here. Kind of catch up here. Cambridge has to stop taking threes. He is terrible. Now goal-minded. I know you wouldn't say that to his face, so there's no need in posting things like that. Should he take more threes on a regular basis? Yes. On a night like tonight where he was actively given the ball, like Jabari driving into there was given to him, you have to take that 3 in that situation, especially if you're the only one open. They were not letting Wendell Green have much room at all, and you saw why with him draining a couple of those shots, which were beautiful again. They weren't letting Kate, can we even discuss tonight KD Johnson, 2 points? He was off tonight. Clearly off. Absolutely off. I know he's disappointed in his game. He seemed like he went to the other side of the emotional scale that he tends to kind of dance on, which was frustrating for us, but I'm sure just as frustrating for him. He has a little bit better game. It's another area where you ask the question, does this end up differently for Auburn? Bro, Arkansas put SEC on notice and all of college basketball. Stop playing. What am I playing with? I don't understand what I'm playing with. Let's see here. It was a video game every time they made the shot. Yes, it was. Wow, way behind in chat here. Pat says it's hard to win on the road. Auburn wins this game in Auburn Arena. Oh, absolutely, they do. If it took that to beat us without a starting point guard on the road, you give us the Auburn Arena. We Pixulia sound a little bit more quiet. Now, Neil, that's not nice. That's not nice. Wes. So we've reached the point now in the season where I think it's starting to be a fair question to ask, who's having the better season, Jabari Smith or Walker Kessler? The way that Walker Kessler is trending these days, it's a very hard take there. I mean, obviously you see what Jabari does. Jabari is best when he's in an isolation and then does that rise up over the top mid-range jumper, either making it, rarely missing it, or drawing the foul. And that's hard to teach. That's hard to do as consistently as he does. But Walker Kessler is just on a mission to prove he is the best center and he's worthy of recognition this season. You see that number 2 class Arkansas is getting next year? Yeah, rankings look good until they get on the floor and you really see if they're number 2 or not. Rankings, you're new here, Hero Blake, and I'm sure we may not see you after this point, but rankings don't matter all that much. Note was the player of the game. Well, let's take a look at that. 28 points, I'd say so. Jalen Williams probably had a pretty good night for himself as well, but Note definitely took over, and we saw him do that last year against Auburn. Very good player. There's a reason why he's considered one of the best in the SEC. If we talk about these little areas where Auburn, if they do just one of these 2 things, obviously free throws is the big one, but if they keep Note in a little bit more check, if KD Johnson scores a few more, if we trade some of those points within there, this is a much different game. Much different game. So tall, Satchel says, but can't make a free throw. Must be Shaq. Now, Satchel, I can't remember if you're an Auburn fan or an Arkansas fan or somebody else. He's actually usually very good at free throws. Tonight, something was off. Something was very, very off. Auburn shot bad from 3 free throws. They'll smoke Auburn on a neutral court. Smoke Arkansas on a neutral court. I wouldn't say so. This is a very good team. I would say it would be another great game. But if you give Auburn a completely healthy Auburn, not tired and run down. And when I say that, please listen to me, Arkansas fans. I'm not making excuses, but those are just the facts. You played us without our starting point guard. Our guards, who we've already been a little short on depth on, we're tired tonight. You still beat us. You still did a great job. That's not taken away from that, but those are the facts. You need to be able to reconcile with those. I don't know if it's just bias for me as an Auburn fan, but it seemed like those foul calls, especially the charges, were very unnecessary to me. Early on in the game, they were very unnecessary, very skewed against Auburn. It evened out over time. Arkansas did get some very bad calls as well. But, yeah, they were way too quick. I hate it for both the basketball teams tonight because a basketball game is a game of rhythm, and it's hard to get in a rhythm when you've got Teddy Valentine blowing the whistle. Arkansas can't do, amazing things that they were hoping to do as often, especially with their home court behind them, if they're blowing the whistle every 5 seconds. Same thing for Auburn. Stephanie says, Hog fan, we're number one. Not quite. Why don't you take a few more losses before you claim number one? Best game in years for Arkansas? I don't know. I've seen some really good Arkansas games and really good Arkansas teams over the last few years. So it might be a little bit of a selling yourself short there. Let's see here. Let me catch up on some of these things. Arkansas was allowed to play extremely aggressive flukes. Auburn on most drives. Auburn couldn't even play soft defense without getting called. These refs might have been the worst I've ever seen. I've seen worse, I promise. Let's see here. Rolling down. It's funny because you have to skip past all the ones that just say "We Pig Suey, we Pig Suey, we Pig Suey." How are y'all so proud of that call? It's not. Yeah. Let's see here. Trying to get to some of the other things that we haven't talked about tonight. Felix, one of our channel members, thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you checking in on us. All right, let me do this real quick. We'll get back to your comments and questions here, but I want to give you a reminder of what our stream is brought to you by tonight, and that is our Booster Club. Check out patreon.com/E2C Network, where you can sign up for $1 a month, help produce our content here, streams like this, videos we post here, and our podcast. Thank you to members of our Booster Club. You've seen a lot of them here. Felix is one of them. Corey's one of them that's been here tonight. So thank you guys so much for your support there. And if you'd like that, check that out, link out in the description, or you can visit patreon.com/E2C Network and get some perks for yourself while you help support our content here. All right, back to the comments. Let me guess, there's lots of wee pig sueys there. I'm going to jump all the way to the front here, see what's going on here. Let's see. Wow, the comments just keep rolling in. I am so far behind on here. This isn't even funny. Okay, I think I'm caught up now. Logan, I'm guessing you're a Kentucky fan. Kentucky is still the best team in the SEC, and that's facts. Well, it would be if you hadn't lost to Auburn. And Nicholas, I love this. No disrespect to y'all. We Pick Suey is just tradition for us. It may be kind of dumb, but it means a lot to us. And I respect that, Nicholas. I respect that a lot, that you can acknowledge it's kind of dumb. But if it's important to you, we get that. Love it. We roll our trees when we win. That's weird. We don't have to explain it. It's important to us. I get it. Let's see here. Trying to catch some of these. Great game all around. Justin says, we support the SEC and proud that Auburn was ranked number one. Absolutely. I hope that's what we walk away from tonight, Auburn and Arkansas fans, knowing that we both have two really great teams, and that it's going to be a fight down the stretch now with us taking our first loss in the SEC. We still hold the lead in the SEC, especially with the tiebreaker or the win over Kentucky. But one more loss, two more losses by Auburn, which are very possible. Things get a little bit more interesting tonight or the rest of the season. Is it War Eagle or Tiger? Haha, very funny. We're not going to worry about that tonight. But anyway. What was the turning point of the game? Kessler fouling out. Wee Pig Suey. And I'm going to keep saying Wee Pig Suey because I can't. Because it's funny to me. So the turning point in the game. Yeah, if you really want to cut dry what really won the game for Auburn, what lost the game for Auburn was that sequence there where Katie drives and the Walker fouls out. Yes, that's where the game kind of was out of reach for Auburn. But at the same time, you've also got to look back into regulation. That game was in Auburn's hands. People have already said earlier in the stream that they disagreed with Wendell shooting that at the end of regulation. I don't think it was necessarily that bad. I might have preferred to see a drive in to draw a foul, but you just never know the way they were calling and not calling things tonight. And if you do that and give them a little second extra to maybe get something down the court there, if you turn it over, it's a much different story. I would have much rather us do something similar to what we did. Let Wendell or somebody take a long three, just see if it goes in, and then you walk off happy. But here we are. It's woo, not we. Well, I'm going to keep saying we because I know it bothers y'all. Hayden, look, guys, we don't think Auburn's overrated. We're just tired of being underestimated tonight, and it's just a bit, and it just bit you in the butt. I've not said once that you're underestimated tonight. I know you're talking about some people in the comments and stuff like that, but yeah. Too much for Dusty. UK fans are too much tonight for him. So many charges called tonight. Was it a ton or just me? Absolutely, it was on both sides of the floor. Some very petty ones too. Seemed like they might have been making up for a little bit in the controversial call last week, but yeah. A lot of bacon in the chat, and it does smell so good. It does. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. Arkansas Razorback, you see the joke there. I appreciate the fact that Auburn gave us the game. I have a heart condition, and I felt like I was going to burst. Well, please take care of yourself. But y'all be fine. Congrats on a great season so far. Absolutely. And here's the great thing at this point. As I've already said, we root for Arkansas for the rest of the season until the tournament. Because the more you succeed, the better this loss looks for us. Let's see here. Let me back. Look, I'm no classier than any other person, but listen, you got to learn to just take it. You knew this was coming, and it is what it is. You know, let them have their fun. It feels good that it meant this much to you. It really does. I'm just eating it alive. Let's see here. Let me just Caleb, we've talked about this a little bit tonight. The loss might be just what the doctor ordered. Maybe we'll see what happens. The loss itself is not what maybe what the doctor ordered. It's how this team responds, because this is a team that now is without two of their guards, and granted, Lord Behrman is not the most. He doesn't eat up the most minutes, but he does provide a crucial aspect to the game to come in and provide quality minutes. Without those two guys, this team is very much suffering in that area. Depth-wise, not conditioning, but just in terms of getting tired, fatigued, and things like that. They took the lob away from us tonight too. That hurt. It was there still. The important thing that I think a great job Musselman did tonight was the way they face guarded Wendell Green. He still broke through a lot, 19 points. So if you guys had any doubts about how good a player Wendell Green is, and I saw someone make a comment earlier saying that he's the number 6 guy. That was such an ignorant comment. I'm sorry. And I know that's mean for me to say, but that's stupid. This guy, even being face guarded the entire night, continues to make plays, continues to create opportunities for his teammates. And he's the reason that we stay in this game. If it's not for Wendell Green, Walker Kessler, and Jabari Smith tonight, we're out of this game. When guys like Katie Johnson are having a rough night, Alan Flanagan probably had a little bit of a rough night, and the rest of your depth isn't there. It's going to be a struggle if you don't have those threes. Katie's emotions were a liability tonight. Really should have sat him late because he was not responding to coaching. I didn't really get a good look at that, so I can't say one way or the other whether or not he was. But I will say that he did play. Let's see here. Katie played 33 minutes, so he didn't get sat as much as I thought he was. I just didn't see him in as many crucial moments. I do agree that he probably it's not that he was a liability tonight. He just wasn't what we normally count on him to do in these games. And so very frustrating night for him. As I'm sure he's had a heck of an emotional roller coaster the last couple of games, especially with that Georgia game, wanting to get that one. Let's see. Let's stop. I'm trying to understand these Kentucky fans in here. Their game must have been, not satisfying enough. It's funny, they say that nobody shows up for Auburn; they just show up to see Kentucky. But yet, you're showing up here to an Auburn show. It's funny. Anyway, I love having y'all here. It's interesting. Hog fan, I hope we get the chance to meet the Tigers again this year at full strength. You want to beat the best at their best. Well said. Well said. And I'm glad that you recognize that, but don't take this away from you. Don't take this win away from yourself. Kentucky fans are drunk. Most likely that bourbon started flowing a little too early today. It's only 10 o'clock. It's just getting started for them. Jabari should have taken that last shot, and we missed so many free throws. Yeah. Again, the free throws I 100% agree with. The whole notion that we're not getting the ball to Jabari Smith enough, I talked about this a little bit earlier. I still think tonight they got it about the right amount. Could we have given him one or two more looks? Sure. But I thought he did just about as good and was given enough opportunities tonight to warrant. 20 points is really good. He almost had to double-double tonight. Let's see here. Free throws. Trying to see if we've got any other extra comments we haven't talked about tonight. Auburn's no longer number one after Monday. I agree. Probably not. And that's okay. If Auburn wasn't number one, Arkansas would not have stormed the court. It's a fair point. It's a very fair point. You still did, though. Let's see here. Linda, thanks for hanging out tonight. I know it's been a little bit frustrating with some Arkansas fans, but hey, I didn't know they had internet in Kentucky. This loss does not mean that Auburn drops. Calm down. If they do, they do. But Saturday is a chance to earn it back. Absolutely it is. So, they go out there and they just blow the brakes off of Texas A&M. But the problem is Texas A&M at the beginning of the season, they were looking like they were going to do a little bit of something. They haven't really done that. So it won't be as impressive a win had it been on the road and we do that at Texas A&M. Yes. I just kind of see the writing on the wall, and I think it's something that we should prepare for. It's not that big a deal. We had number one, and it was fun while we had it. Jabari was given the ball too late. I thought he got the ball pretty consistently throughout. I could be wrong. Granted, it was a stressful game all night, so we'll see. Let's see here. We sure could have used another guard. Wendell Green cannot do it all night. War Eagle. And this is something we talked about in preseason, right? We talked about my concerns about the point guard position, not because I didn't doubt that Wendell Green wasn't going to be good. I wasn't aware personally that Zep Jasper was as effective as he would be at the point guard position. In fact, winning the starting job. So that is a great underestimation on my part. But yes, all along, whether it's point guard, we knew we were going to be a little bit thinner. And if you were going to take an injury, that's not where you want to take it, right? But here's the great thing. Even without Zep, it took a really great Arkansas overtime on their home floor to beat the number one team. I'm not taking anything away from Arkansas. But some of y'all Arkansas fans think y'all number one now. Might want to check yourself for just a little bit. Let's see. See, part of the reason it's hard to do these live shows when we're getting blasted by the opposing fans is I'm having fun watching some of the interactions here. Too much hero ball from a lot of players. Trying to think who that might be. Maybe so. It's very, Chris Moore's getting some more time tonight, and he made a couple mistakes, so I was very unhappy with that. Cambridge had an okay night, not a great night. Cardwell had a few key putbacks there. So, yeah. Try it again. So many comments. 1,300 tweets in 40 minutes, pretty much all us. Oh, that's disappointing. I was hoping that we were going to get actual meme blasted. I knew that there was a plan in effect to blast our own post-game tweet. But I was really hoping that not just the Arkansas fans, but all of the SEC fans were going to really do a number on us. I don't know if I'm just being sadistic in that nature, but I thought it was going to be really fun to see that. Still the longest active winning streak in the country. Well, it was the longest active winning streak in the country. It wouldn't be active in we hold the longest winning streak. Gonzaga, I can't remember when their last loss was, but they might pass it. Murray State, are they still on their winning streak? It might be. Again, allow me to reiterate, free throws are part of the game. Arkansas made them. Auburn didn't. Auburn may be the best team tomorrow, but Arkansas was the best team tonight. Absolutely. I don't disagree with that in the least. Do not disagree with that in the least. All right. We're not quite done yet, but we're going to kind of start rounding out our show tonight. Thank you so much to our Arkansas fans who blasted us tonight. Great crowd. If you can, please do me a favor before we get your last minute comments, questions, derogatory rebuttal. Please do check out some of the links in the description. Even you Arkansas fans, ways you can help support our content here, to either join the Booster Club, become a channel member here. Thank you so much to some of those of you that do either of those or both. There's also TeePublic. There's also our PayPal. We appreciate you just being here, though. If you enjoyed this type of content, please do make sure you smash the like button because it does help our content out. Keeps me doing this, keeps the lights on, so to speak, helps me buy new equipment, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Back to a couple of questions and comments as we round out our night. Comment: do you agree with Bruce's decision to sub Kessler out in overtime before he fouled out? Yes, I do. He was very tired, had quite a night, and he probably would have fouled out earlier if he hadn't. There's got to be strategic. I don't see any problem with him taking him out for just a little bit in overtime. If nothing else, to get the rest of the team that experience that they need. Kentucky will always be better than Auburn and Arkansas. Still salty, aren't you? Still a little bit salty. Murray State hasn't lost since they lost to Auburn. There you go. And Gonzaga's only on their 12th win. Okay, well, we might be there. Glad you enjoyed the show and the commentary. That's what we're here for, even if it's in a loss and even if it's at the expense of some. You know, Arkansas fans, I'm loving seeing y'all here. These Alabama, Kentucky fans, they're just salty. Let's see here. I almost wish that we had let giving Preston a shot tonight to run point guard. Yep, a few minutes. I love Allen, but he cannot play point guard. We knew that last season when we watched him being forced because we had no one else into that role. That is not his role, but you kind of have to work with what you got. Preston Cook can run basketball circles around me, but from what I've seen, he can't. He probably still isn't a better option than Allen Green. I don't know that. Allen Flanagan. So while you say that it would be nice to see that, I don't know that you'd wish that after seeing that. End of the day, it's been fun to banter with other fans. It is because, there's a point where it's like, wow, we're just beating up on everybody. And now it's fun to have a little bit of kind of back and forth whether they really can say some stuff. Sounds like you're as jealous that you don't have a battle call as good. I bet that we can poll college sports fans around and ask them the question, what is better, and show us you guys doing We Pig Suey or War Eagle and us with the Eagle Flight. And I'm going to just bet we win that one convincingly. But it's okay. If it's important to you, it's important to you. Appreciate the kind words. I disagree on the substitution for Kessler's start of overtime. Playing time drought, I think is what you're saying there. Hey, that's why we all have our opinions, right? Mine are no more right or wrong than yours. Any team can be beaten on any given day. Auburn, Arkansas, Kentucky aren't excluded from that. I'm happy about the streak we have, 9 in a row. Beating number one doesn't give us more wins. I see what you're saying there. It's a good perspective. I didn't go through all 1,300 tweets, just saw the first batch, so there could be opposing ones in there. I'm going to find them. And I may do a video of just the best ones from us and from other fans out there. I really am disappointed in you SEC fans if you spent, time just writing "We Pig Suey" Arkansas fans and not blasting us with memes. James says that Auburn will stub the number 1 seed in the SEC all the way. Still a lot of work to do, but they're still on track to cover that territory. Thanks for going live. Helped ease the pain. Glad I could help. DM me. Oh, hold on. All right. I know I normally open up the phone lines for everybody, but I was about to head out, but since I've got someone here, let me get him I may not be able to get to it tonight. I know this is like making a terrible show right now. I'm trying to let someone come into the show that we've been trying to get on here before. So let me try to get you, see if I can get it to him or not. Anyway, while I'm doing this, everybody right now from Auburn, even you for Auburn, Kentucky, or Kentucky fans too, Arkansas fans, if you guys could, who you thought on Auburn's team had the game of the night, post that real quick right now, if you can. Infinite Auburn, Chase, I am trying to get that link to you, sir. No, we've been trying to make this happen, so I'm going to probably send it through Twitter because that's the thing that I just brought up first. So just bear with me for just a second while I try to get another perspective on here. I think you guys will enjoy it if I can get to him. And there. Okay. Chase just sent it on Twitter. Go check that out, and we'll let him come talk to us for just a few minutes before we head out tonight. Kessler by far. Kessler. Yeah. Smith. Great. I think Smith is all of them. I think that one was said in jest. Let's see here. Petrino. That's funny. Kessler could transfer Porter to Fayetteville. We're good. I think he's happy with where he's at and happy to have him here. All right, we got our man in here. I'm going to let him come in and say hello to us. Let me set myself up here properly since I've got my headphones. Make sure I've got everything set up here. Let's say hello to the man, myth, the legend.
Hey, man.
Hey, what is up, sir?
I couldn't let you go to bed too early. We had a big loss, so had to pop in for a minute. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Okay, so one thing I've been saying about this is I'm hoping we're not going to blame this on the lack of Zep Jasper, which, yes, he's a factor, but I know how much grief we gave Kentucky when they were doing this after our loss, so I don't want us to do the same thing.
No.
He's certainly a factor. I can't deny that.
No, and it is a factor, and I've tried to address that with the Arkansas fans tonight. I was like, you can't ignore that it is a factor, but we're not making excuses for it, because if your team falls apart because of one player, then I just realized how goofy I look. Wow. This is what happens when I don't come prepared to the thing to talk on thing. If you fall apart with one player, then you're not really as good of a team as you thought you were. I was actually impressed how tired the guards were tonight, how much better I thought they did facing that adversity without Zeb Jasper. So if nothing else, I find reasons to be encouraged with this, and I agree with you completely. We should not be making excuses for that.
Yeah, and I think it's good the loss came now, because we have plenty of time to make adjustments, and maybe this will provide some motivation to the team that we're not as invincible as we thought we were, and we've got plenty of time to improve before we get to the tournament. What are your thoughts on KD Johnson from tonight with only 2 points? What was up with him?
I think he was on the other side of the emotional spectrum tonight. He is. Coach Pearl has said it best. He is your yes, no type of player, and I'm just thankful that he's our little psychopath. Not a great game for him tonight, and I wouldn't go far as to say he was a liability. I think you could make that case, but no one's going to be more disappointed in his play tonight than KD Johnson. So I feel for the guy, because he's been such an important part of us and our success this year. Yeah. But he didn't help a lot tonight. What did you think?
No, I couldn't figure out what was going on with him. He just didn't have that same energy, and I guess he just never got that spark going like we typically see.
Right.
And and part of that was just as a team, the first half was just abysmal. It was awful. Our shooting percentage was, I don't remember the exact percentage now. Was it low 20s? I can't remember what it was at this point, but we were, way off the first half. And then, second half we did much better, but I mean, you saw the same game I saw. So I don't know. I thought we did enough to win the game. Unfortunately, the free throws were it looked like were the deciding factor.
I think you've been around enough to hear me say this once or twice. Don't get me started on the free throws. I mean, I couldn't even say the percentage when we started this show. Like it was
Sure.
There's three things that I watch in basketball: free throws, turnovers, and rebounds. Yeah. Turnovers we lose tonight. Free throws we clearly lose. Rebounds we dominate in. But even the level that Walker did for you there, the way that Jabari did there tonight, it's not enough to overcome that poor of a free throw percentage. I mean, on their worst nights, most basketball teams are in the 50s. This was you win free throws, you win the free throw matchup, you typically win the game. But if you can at least give yourself competitive in that category, you're going to be in a good position. And you have to ask the question, what if Auburn makes one or two of these free throws in certain situations?
Well, it could have been the difference in the game and regulation.
Exactly. What do you think about Jabari's opportunities he was given tonight? A lot of people have asked me questions about whether or not he should have gotten more time, but I thought he got enough.
I think he got enough. He just had a rough first half, but then he scored 4 points first half, and then came out and scored 16. I mean, I think he had a decent game, and he had enough time. And you don't want to get in a situation where Bruce Pearl's all about not putting the players in for too long, putting them in enough that they can make a difference, but not leaving them in too long that they can be prone to injury, and also keeping that good rotation of 10 to 11 players in. So I think he had enough time, but just with how he played the first half, I mean, that was the difference for him. But he still ended up being the top scorer for Auburn. So, I mean, I don't know how we can complain too much about Jabari.
So let's assume that Zep Jasper maybe he's out for another game. It seems like something he'll get over after about a week's time, maybe. So maybe by Saturday he's back. What does Auburn have to do differently in the guard play, in the front, the backcourt, to alleviate some of the issues that you saw tonight? Is it Katie Johnson just having a better game?
I really think Katie's got to have a better game. I mean, I think that's the biggest difference. I mean, I saw some people complaining about Cambridge not having a great game, but I really think it's just got to be Katie Johnson's got to come out and do what he's done in almost every other game. Because 2 points from KD, it's not going to cut it.
No, it's not. And he's 1 of 7 tonight. He only attempted one 3-pointer, which is shocking for him.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times I saw him do his little dance, and I was like, "Oh boy, here it comes! Here it comes!" He'll knock down 1 out of the 2, maybe, but only shooting 1 tonight was a little bit shocking. And I wonder if I don't know. I just wonder why he didn't attempt as much. Was he getting locked down? I commended Arkansas for the way they face guarded Wendell Green, but I didn't think they had locked down KD all that well. I just thought he had an off game tonight.
I mean, they first half, they kind of shut down the paint period, and were really trying to push us to shoot threes, and we did not shoot as many as I thought we should have, and we should have changed, some of our looks that we had out there. I think we should have put some of our guys who are able to make those 3-pointers at a higher percentage a little earlier. But ultimately, the adjustments were made that needed to be made in the second half. I just wish we had figured that out a little sooner.
I think we've got a comment from an Arkansas fan here. It says, realistically, I do believe after this game, Auburn did deserve number 1. Not sure till I saw how they were in Bud Walton. I think, and I'm not one of these people that wants to just paint puppy dogs and rainbows over everything, but I also think that you do need to take a holistic approach to this and say, we've already talked about how they were still in the game without Zep Jasper tonight.
Sure.
Still competitive. But, this is showing when you go to a place like that, which is, it's not just this season. Arkansas has always been a program that you expect to do big things, give or take an up or down year or so, and go in there with that type of pressure. The fans are camping out. The expectation is to take down number 1. And still, they rise to the occasion and are proving the fans, the ones that are being reasonable, at least from Arkansas, that they really were worthy of the number one spot. We are a good
did
team.
I see they set a record for attendance at Bud Walton?
Yes, that was said. I don't remember the number, but yes.
It was either 20,300 or 23. I can't remember, 23,000 or 20,300. It was up there.
Yep.
I don't see enough for us to drop out at number one, though. I mean,
you think Jesse Newell isn't going to use this as fodder to put us at like 20?
Well, I mean, he will. So I mean, it'll drop us. But he'll probably drop us to what was his last ranking for us? Was it 4 or 5?
I think it was 7. I thought
he dropped
it. I thought he dropped us to 7.
He really shows us no respect. But he may drop us to 10 or 11, something like that, which will probably pull us down a spot or two overall. But I don't see how most reasonable voters can drop us too far down. I don't get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not including Jesse.
With this question, what's up with Lior? Do you think if he plays at all tonight, does he affect the game enough? Just all respect to Lior, but I don't know if that's a worthy question or not.
I don't know. I don't know how as coach I don't know. I don't know that he does affect it.
Yeah. Here was your record tonight, 20,375 from an Arkansas fan. So what a great crowd. Sounded like it on TV. We have been traveling well, obviously, to away games, but
not Arkansas.
But did you
see the pictures? Did you see the pictures of the crowd?
Yes.
It was solid white. So unless our fans were wearing white to the whiteout at the Arkansas game, I didn't see a whole lot of orange and blue out there.
Oh man, they probably put us like up at the rim at the top up there.
We were probably in the shadows. Yeah,
they probably put us behind the curtain. You remember the curtains they used to have at Beard Eves Memorial Coliseum for when they couldn't fill it up? They put us. They dropped the curtains, put us behind them.
Yeah, I used to work at. I was telling some people earlier. I used to work at Beard Eves. I was I actually worked at for Auburn basketball or for the Coliseum back when we were not very good, from like 2003 to 2007.
So you mean most of our time being basketball fans?
Yeah, that time. I got to the under the goal cam and the half court and all that, but we were not very good. I think we lost AUM one year when I was filming. It was bad.
Can I be honest with you for a second? I'm not saying this to toot my own horn because I did not play, but I was actually I should have been on the court. Or I should have been I was on AUM's basketball team for for one season, and the next season they went to AUM, and I chose that season, of course, to not continue with my career. And I have kicked myself to that day. I would not have wanted to have been a part of beating the Auburn team that happened in that exhibition game, but it still would have been cool. So. Anyway, hey man, thanks for checking in. We are great to hear from you. We'll hopefully get you on here again soon.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
All right, guys. Hey, by the way, real quick, plug where they can find you, all your stuff.
Yeah, if you want to find me, you can look on YouTube, look for Infinite Auburn, and you can also find me on Twitter. My handle's right there at Infinite Auburn, and go follow me on that. Follow me on YouTube, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, always. Thanks, man, and War Eagle. All right, it was great to hear from you. I know we said we were going to leave, but Chase and I have been trying to kind of link up and do at least something together. So I wanted to hop him in here real quick and say hello. Hey guys, great crowd tonight. Clint, you're late to the party. We're about to leave. But I hope that you guys had fun tonight. I hope that you Arkansas had fun tonight. By the amount of WPS's We Pig Sueys. And I'm saying it on purpose for those of you that are just getting here like that. It was fun, interesting. Kentucky fans, still salty. Alabama fans, clueless. But it was fun to talk with you guys. Auburn will bounce back from this. Hopefully, this is exactly what they needed in some people's opinion, to be able to respond, to be able to get that pressure let off of the top of that bottle and move forward with the rest of the season. I think there's something to be said with that. But we'll have to see how they respond before we make the judgment call if this is exactly what Auburn needed tonight. Appreciate the kind words there, War Eagle, always. Guys, thank you for sticking around for a little bit longer stream than we normally would do after a game. But again, with Chase being able to stop in and the interesting nature of tonight with so many fans taking the opportunity to stick it to the Tigers. Enjoy it, Auburn fans. They stormed the court, not just because you were the number one team, but because your Tigers were the best team in the land. And they took them down. congrats to Arkansas. Good luck with the rest of the regular season. Better hope we don't see you in the tournament down in Tampa, because we will be coming for some bait.